What's going on, everybody? This is Jay Leno. I'm here with my guy Jonan. Say what's up to the people, Jonan.
What's happening?
All right, man. So when I went to the comic book store Wednesday, I had stumbled across from the guy at the counter. He had the entire part three of the Batman TMNT series with the Kevin Eastman covers, and I said to myself, you know what? It's time to do a
Cha-ching.
discussion. Yeah, that too.
Exactly.
That too. I definitely said, all right, cha-ching, I have to get it. I got it for a very low price. And then
All
I
right,
had
all right,
to,
that's pretty good.
and then I had enough points saved up to where I had added an additional 20% off on it as well.
Nice.
So yeah, so I had to grab it, and I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna bring somebody in, I had to bring in you, Jonan.
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
So yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming in. So, for the people that aren't aware, Batman and TMNT has had a three-part series in comics. And if I'm not mistaken, was it around like what 2000 and I don't know, the 2010s that the part one came out?
Yeah, like I would say, like probably mid 2010s. Like yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere like 2016 or something like that. I can't really. I don't remember the actual year it came out, but somewhere around
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah. So it was around that time, and so I guess going into it when I got into reading the especially part one, we'll start off with part one. It was is I was kind of nervous thinking that somebody would just get nerfed or I just know based off of that I saw that cartoon first, the Batman and
Oh,
TMNT cartoon, which was a huge disappointment to me. So I can start off there, man. So like, what'd you think of the cartoon?
I actually liked it and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, now it's been like I've only seen it probably like once, really, but I actually do want to get on DVD someday though. But yeah, that was all right and stuff. It's definitely some differences from the comics. I definitely will say that. Where I was like, wait a second,
Yeah.
some of the stuff was like a little off, or not off, but just like okay, I see they changed this, and this, and all that. But we'll definitely talk about that in a second.
Yeah, I mean, well, what I didn't like about it was it didn't feel like they didn't spend too much. It's like base level characters, and it almost felt like the person who wrote the script didn't know anything about either or, and they just wanted to make us like a very like basic story
Yeah,
for
I
either
will.
for
Yeah, I
most
definitely will say that though. Like, I guess they didn't want to like make things too complicated for like the runtime, maybe
yeah.
because like if you notice, like in the movie, like the TMNT and Batman universes are set in the same universe and all that, where the
Hmm.
Turtles travel to Gotham instead of like this whole other dimensional stuff like that was like the thing inside the comics and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
I
was
mean,
like, oh, okay. So they probably didn't want to like they just wanted to self make a self contained story, I guess, with like TMNT and Batman sharing the same universe.
well, I guess you can make me lighten up on the movie then, Jonan, since you put it that way.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
okay,
yeah, I thought it was a fun movie though. I mean, some stuff like, oh, okay, I like Damien here a little bit. He's like got a little soft side and stuff, or like, whatever. Everybody like eating pizza at the end of the movie. That was pretty nice.
he the way Batman took down the turtles just thrown me completely off in the movie. So I was just
Yeah, I've come to expect that. I mean,
like,
because I
I
saw the comic, I
yeah,
saw the comic first, and I was like, because people were talking about it at the time, I was like, man, that's some BS. Like Batman, like I
yeah.
can understand, like,
He's been a better fight. If he's going to defeat him, I definitely didn't want him to lose like that.
right? It was like that was a whole one-sided fight. Like, I mean, I get it, like, and then how do I put this? Because this is like a different, like in the comics though. This isn't like the IDW comics or like Mirage or anything. That's a whole
Mhm.
other thing right there. This is
Yeah.
just a miscellaneous type of like Ninja Turtles that are like, oh, okay, maybe they're like somewhat on the level of like almost Ninja Master or something like that, or beginners, and then Batman's been in the game for a while. So I'm like, all right, cool. But I wouldn't take this seriously as in like, oh yeah, this is exactly how it'll play out between Batman and the
Yeah.
Turtles. Like,
Yeah,
nah,
I'm about to say that's how I took it. I was like, oh no. Let me just
yeah,
hurry up and get through with this. But okay, I'm gonna get to the comic. For with part one, what I got most out of this, what I got most out of this was is I almost wanted to compare it to the first movie, like the first
Yeah.
Ninja Turtle movie that came out, because it just felt like it was Mirage.
Oh, the very first.
The part one of this
Oh,
Batman TMNT.
okay, okay.
Like if it was going to be anything close to that, because I mean, it still kept Gotham's dark grittiness. Um, it still kept I guess New York City, because if I'm not mistaken, part one was in Gotham.
Yeah,
Yeah, part one was in Gotham. Part two was in New York. So, and I mean, I got an opportunity to like see Ralph get pissed off because the turtles weren't. So basically, with their time, with the turtles time traveling being in Gotham, they had a certain amount of time to stay there before they are erased from existence itself.
that's in the third part.
I believe
Or
that's,
are you talking about the first?
yeah, that's the first.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's, yeah, in
Because
the first.
I was about to say I don't remember the whole them about it being a race thing, but yeah, I do remember they Raph was definitely getting pissed off because
Yeah, yeah.
like they weren't making any kind of progression or something or whatever, and they're like, man, and Batman over here, he a rich eccentric billionaire and all that and blah blah blah.
so, so I mean, yeah. So basically, what happened was is like, I mean, they had a couple of fights. They came back to the lair, and they're like, the turtles were acting lackadaisical, like they weren't pressed for time. And Ralph's like, I don't feel like waiting. I'm gonna go out here by myself since y'all don't want to take things seriously, which kind of to me felt like the first movie, or like, typical Ninja Turtle, like the original film franchise was. He went rogue.
Yeah, that's true. Or he was about to dip, but then Batman like gave him his little like speech and stuff, and was like, look.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the reason I was like, yeah, my parents died, and then I want to rid Gotham. I'm not doing this because I'm trying to get some kind of cheap thrill out of it or whatever. Like,
Yep.
nah. So that was a speech Batman gave in the comic. Now, if you remember from the movie, Raph is actually the one that's lecturing Batman and stuff, telling him because Batman was like, all right, we're not getting anywhere in the same position as Raph. He's like, this whole us teaming up thing was a mistake. We're just gonna do this ourselves, and then the Bat family and all that. And then Raph, like you remember, he grabs Batman,
Mhm.
turns him around, and is like, "No, you listen." And was like telling him about like, "Look, I've been there. I've been a loner and all that stuff, but we gotta work together on this." So
Mhm.
I did like that change compared to like the comic, though.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that was a good. I say, yeah. I mean, I didn't even put two and two together and think of that. I guess when I was referring to the movie, I was actually referring to the original Ninja Turtle movie,
Oh yeah, yeah,
like the
yeah. I know what
live
you're talking about.
action. So
Yeah,
let me
yeah. I know what
clarify
you're.
myself by saying that. So like that's the
Oh no, no.
comparison I was trying to make.
I know. I mean, I got you. I remember. I was just saying, like, I'm just using that as a like that was a parallel from that scene from the
Okay.
comic to the movie. But yeah, but I know what you're talking about. Like where Raph in the first movie, where like him and Leo had their little falling out.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was. I mean, to me, it still felt nostalgic. Another thing that really stood out to me with part one was, I guess, the scale and tiers of power between all the characters. And in saying that, right, part one let me know that Shredder's martial arts and experience is superior to Ra's al Ghul's and Batman's.
Yeah, or they might be on the same level because like if I were to say scaling wise, like from the comic, from what I remember,
Mhm.
yeah, you obviously do get that first scene where Batman and the Turtles fight each other and stuff, and Batman like completely beats them up. And then later on in the Batcave where like Batman and Leonardo are training and they're both on par with each other and Master Splinter is like, just backseat and stuff,
Mhm.
looking at them and like criticizing Batman for his footwork and all that stuff. He's like, looks
Mhm.
like Leonardo's footwork is better than yours, Batman. He's like,
Mhm.
yeah, so it kind of puts okay, so Splinter's above Batman and so on and so forth, and like the Turtles probably aren't that far off from him,
Yeah.
and like Shredder and all that. Yeah.
Because I mean, I look at it like when they do a crossover, people are definitely going to compare these two franchises,
Oh yeah.
and I also like got an opportunity to see how influential and how important of a character Donatello is. You kind of get more of it in part two, but even still in part one, I'd almost make an assumption that, well, Batman doesn't create his own gadgets, but Donatello is as experienced as an engineer or skilled as an engineer than whoever makes Batman's gadgets. It may be the matter of material, but like I guess
Yeah,
Donatello's able to kind of be like the MacGyver to this. Like, okay, if you give him the right tools, he probably can create better gadgets and equipment than whoever provides equipment for Batman in this comic book series. That's kind of what I got.
yeah, depends. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, Donatello, like, he's the brainiac and all that stuff. Batman, I mean, he's smart, of course, and world's greatest detective and all that stuff, and he's good at like other things like hacking, and I mean, it's Batman. He's a jack of all trades.
Hmm.
Not the best, or it's not like he creates every single thing, because he
Yeah.
has people for that. He's got like, of course, his company, and most of all, Lucius Fox,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
helps make his technology. He also had another guy too. His name was Harold, but I think he got killed off or something in like the Batman Hush series. So that kind of sucked.
Yeah. See,
But
I like, let's say, as far as part one, another highlight that I got out of. Okay, so matter of fact, how did you feel about the mutations of the villains, the sub villains?
I actually did like that though. I'm not gonna lie. Oh,
Yeah.
some of the designs and stuff that was pretty cool. I can't remember everybody's design, but I definitely
So
know they made some changes from the movies
so
too.
Poison Ivy was a mantis.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember. Bane in the comic, Bane is a if I'm not mistaken, some kind of elephant.
Yeah.
But in the movie, they made him like a jaguar or something.
Yeah.
Then yeah, and then Harley
They turned a
Quinn.
penguin to an actual penguin.
Yeah, I think he actually didn't get mutated in the movie though, since he was the first villain that they fought. But yeah, he did get probably turned into an actual penguin.
And Mr. Freeze was a polar bear.
Oh yeah, I can't forget that one. Michelangelo's like, "Oh my god, guys, it's polar bear Mr. Freeze."
Mhm.
And
But
then yeah, and then Riddler he got turned into a fox and all that stuff. Kind of makes sense.
mhm.
The slide and all that.
Mhm.
Harley Quinn, I think in the comic she's a hyena, but in the movie she's like a dog.
Yep.
Joker got turned into like a snake and all that. Yeah,
Mhm. So I mean, it was acceptable. I definitely like Casey Jones's appearance. It was almost, look, it was almost like the original movie. It was like Casey Jones comes from the Ninja Turtles' dimension to deliver some mutagen to buy them more time in Gotham, and he ends up running into Shredder and the Foot Clan and Roz,
yeah,
and ends up getting his butt kicked. Ends up getting his butt kicked. But yeah, it was almost like if they did the first movie in Gotham. So yeah, I thought
yeah,
that was cool. As well as the one thing that I thought that was kind of cool, or at least had me I don't know, just gave me a different kind of changed the tone, was Penguin had changed his mind with being allied to Shredder and Ra's al Ghul because they wanted to pretty much be. I mean, Shredder established himself as alpha dog, and Penguin's not about to share the light with anybody, and so he ended up turning on the turtles.
yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, all in all, I mean, I give part one, uh, I give part one the 8 out of 10.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
I can't remember my original rating for it though, but yeah, it was definitely a good crossover though.
Yeah.
I've already mentioned before my favorite TMNT Batman crossover. That's the 2012 and the animated series one. That was pretty cool.
The comic anime series one.
Yeah, yeah, like they
It
had a
was that the
crossover.
Adventures from the both
Yeah, yeah,
animated series. Was it also, so
yeah.
that was pretty good?
Oh yeah, that was good.
Okay, okay. I'm about to check that. I'm about to check that out. That's, yeah. That'll probably be the next one that I uh that I read.
Yeah, but
So yeah.
well, yeah, you can continue.
Okay. So then with part two, it I mean, it's as interesting. Bane is the main villain,
Yeah,
and but we're in New York instead this time.
right. Yeah, I'm not
And
gonna lie, my memory is a little hazy on it, but I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah, I think I might have some stuff for that.
and I guess with this sequel, we end up getting Batman sidekicks.
Okay.
So we get a little bit more of Damian Wayne, we get a little more Nightwing, and alongside with the Turtles, we get with this
Probably
particular.
Tim Drake. Uh,
Yeah. So what? Yeah. So yeah, we get Tim Drake, and Damian. We get a little bit more of Damian, and
and maybe Jason Todd.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Well,
I don't. Yeah, because I don't remember Jason
no,
being
no,
in
no.
that.
We didn't get Jason Todd. We did not get Jason
Okay.
Todd in that one.
So all right, probably just those three then.
Yeah. But to me, I mean, it was. I enjoyed it, but the one
Wasn't
thing.
the It wasn't the strongest comic though. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the first one that was like, yeah, that was the best, like hands down. Second one, I think I definitely do remember some people were like, yeah, second one wasn't all that great or it was kind of forgettable. Then, and honestly, I kind of forgot how it ended, like low key. Then the third one, that was where, oh, okay, this is like a big bang right here. This is like,
Mhm.
okay, epic finale. But we'll get to that bridge when we get there.
I think what made the second one tough. I mean, some people might be interested in it. It's actually almost like Secret of the Ooze, like
Yeah,
except
because
except minus the violence is still there. But so Bane, who already uses Venom, when basically all these new characters, they get mutagen,
yeah, like he juices up, or he uses Venom on like Bebop and Rocksteady
and
and stuff, and they
then
become his like pawns and stuff or his minions.
yeah, and then it's like I'm trying to remember, and then I mean, of course, you have well, no, was
I
it
think
Killer
like
Croc in the
Bane.
third one or second one?
I can't remember about Killer Croc. I know Bane did take over like what the Statue of Liberty or something in the second
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I think Stockman might have been more involved in that one too.
That's what it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was yeah. So I mean, Baxter Stockman helped. Oh, that's what it was. The entire city ends up being mutated, like almost like Mutant Town.
Oh,
But it was
interesting.
but it was temporary.
Right, right. Yeah, like some Dark Knight, what was it, Dark Knight Rises type of stuff, where
Mhm.
Bane just took over the city and all that.
It's I mean to me it got a little like overhead because Donatello ended up getting using the same venom as Bane, and then he was hard to tame and control.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that because he was like having some kind of like arc or something about it, which I kind of thought that was dumb too. But he was using Venom. I forgot to kind of make himself stronger to
Mhm.
like because he was a little insecure about his ninja skills and stuff.
So it's just I mean it was I dealt with it. It was cool. And I enjoyed it. Like, you know, I'm a turtle fan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get through this, and then I actually got the part three series first.
Okay.
So we can move on to part three unless there's something that you wanted included in the.
Real quick. I mean, obviously, Donatello's my boy and everything. I wouldn't say he was out of character, but I just felt like maybe he's like somebody, and I'm not sure who wrote it like that, but I just don't feel like Donatello really has that arc where he's like doubting his ninja skills, or he's like, well, I'm more of a scientist, and my brothers and stuff are more of like more ninja than me and all that stuff. And I'm like, I mean, Donatello, even in the Mirage comics, he was still able to balance out being like a great ninja and being an engineer at the same time and stuff. And honestly, like Donatello's kind of the most acrobatic member of the TMNT and stuff
The
because he had the
the
bow staff.
the only time I've seen Donatello talk like that was in the 2012 series.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, because that kind of was like the beginning for them, and he was like, "Man, I'm just using a stick and air, like
Exactly.
against alien technology and all that." Yeah, but yeah. But other than that, though, yeah, I just feel like that was a little bit off in my opinion. And then Donatello was kind of like, okay, you kind of glazing Batman a little bit too much because he was like, man, Batman is also like a bit of a scientist and he's a great fighter. I'm like, okay, well, Donatello, you're both, man. Well, whatever, but okay. Or in most other versions, he's already like a good fighter as is. Or I think I might have told you this before, but even in the Archie comics, like Donatello actually defeated all the turtles at one point.
I mean, so was that like towards like was that in Tails?
You're talking about Mirage?
Yeah.
No. So like the Archie comics, it's the second. I think it's the second or third comic book series for the TMNT, but it's TMNT Adventures. It's yeah, like it was based off the '87 cartoon, but it kind of became its own thing with the comics and all that stuff.
Okay.
But in there, they all went to outer space and they got into this little intergalactic wrestling thing, and it was like a battle.
So he ended up winning that tournament with that's Black Suit
Oh yeah.
Raphael and all of them. Yeah.
Yep. You already know. Yeah, Donatello won that match against everybody. I mean, granted, it's not like it was like the three of them versus one of him, but still, he came out on top.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, look. I look at it like I believe everybody's had opportunity to be like top dog to an extent. And
Oh yeah. Yeah, they have.
so,
That's why it's like
probably
I wouldn't
Mikey
really,
and Last Ronin, but I mean, I maybe had some other moments as well.
I'd say like the 2003 series with the Battle Nexus tournament, because
Oh
Michelangelo did
yeah,
become the
yeah.
champion. Yeah, Donatello, he lost. Leonardo was probably the only one that was kind of unfairly taken out because he got like poisoned or something during one of his matches or something, so he got taken out like that. But Raph and Donatello, yeah, Michelangelo had kind of already took him out, or Donatello lost, and then Raph and Mikey had their fight, and Mikey came out on top.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
What's up, man? I mean, yeah. I mean, that's part. I mean, that's part two. Part three to me was like extremely exciting. It was like Michael Bay-esque
yeah,
and like in game esque.
yeah, it was low key weird kind of think of it, because I remember the Batman thing where like Batman was like, I lost my parents and then I get adopted by Master Splinter, a mutant rat, and I become like the adopted brother to the Ninja Turtles. It was weird. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's like it was like its own blended story, and like basically just it's a merger of both stories. So like nobody had time travel, or came from two different dimensions. All the turtles are Batman sidekicks, where it's Leonardo is Nightwing. If I'm not mistaken, Jason Todd is Raphael, Tim Drake is Leo, and would it be Mikey as Damien?
Yeah, like I'll say Donnie would be like Tim, since they're both the smartest of like
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the team,
Donnie.
and then Leo would be Nightwing, the oldest and all that, second oldest, Raph, and Jason Todd, Red Hood, and then
They even changed the
yeah,
costume.
Damien.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and then Damien and Michelangelo, since they're both the youngest of the family. So yeah,
So I didn't have any complaints. And then Shredder's Alfred.
oh, that actually happened. Oh god,
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Oh, that's what I forgot to say. So was it a shocker? My fault to retract back to part one, but I really wanted to like get your opinion on this. Was it weird to you that Batman had never had pizza before?
You know what? Now that you mention it, that is kind of stupid. But I'm like, Batman's never had, I mean, I can imagine probably not in a while, but never in his life. Come on.
I guess Alfred's been making them meals for him for years, and he goes to a ball or like those fancy parties. I guess pizza's never on the menu.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine some stuff. I'm like, man, because I think I used to watch this cartoon, The Batman, and stuff. The old 2004 thing. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I think he might have had some pizza in there or something, or he would go out for like, to check out the little basketball game and stuff and hang out with his like friend. Like, yeah.
I was like, all right. Oh yeah, I mean, for people that get an opportunity to watch this, do you guys think it's weird that Batman's never had pizza? But,
yeah, because I'm like, come on, Batman, how come you never had pizza?
You're that rich,
I didn't even think about it now until you mentioned it. I was like, you know what? That is interesting.
Mm-hmm. But going back to part three, that was really cool. We pretty much got to see Krang is like
he gets the anti-monitor.
Yeah. He basically gets the anti-monitor, and
Before
go
I get
ahead.
to that though, I wanted to say probably one of my favorite parts from part 3 that I definitely remember was we actually get to see Mirage Wrath.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, go ahead then. Go ahead then. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it was definitely nice seeing him and stuff, and that's why I was like, because Mirage Wrath actually fought Batman, and they both got ended up in a stalemate. So that kind of just proves, oh, okay, you
So
know,
yeah.
and
So basically, he's saying like the original actual like black and white. It was almost like Turtles Forever. For like
yeah,
yeah. So you got the original Raphael, but when he appeared in the comic, Joni, to me it seemed as though that they basically let us know that the Mirage Turtles are stronger than these and more skilled.
yeah. Then probably like I said, like this is a miscellaneous version, so that's most likely. But I think I kind of always had a theory about the Mirage Turtles is the reason why like they're like because usually on their first encounter, they're the ones that actually killed Shredder and succeeded
Hmm.
and stuff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
together as a team compared to like all the other versions where, they face Shredder, they lose or something, or Master Splinter has to come and save them, and then maybe after like a couple more times they might manage to defeat the Shredder or something like that.
The
But the
turtles
Mirage,
that
yeah, but the Mirage Turtles though they're kind of like not only built different, but like that's because like Splinter actually trained them to kill and all that stuff to actually kill the Shredder and assassinate him.
Mhm.
So that's the reason why, probably like why they're a lot more vicious. But the other turtles, Master Splinter never trained them for that purpose. He like trained them to like just to protect themselves. Not enough to be like, oh, okay, well, I want you to go out and get vengeance for
Mhm.
Master Yoshi and all that. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
that's the reason why.
yeah, I'm about to
He,
say it got dark for a moment, and I definitely was excited. And Crane, I guess the arc with bringing in Crane, yeah, I mean him being able to be the traveler that he is, it just would actually. Do you think they should have brought? Do you think that this three-part series should have been a continuation rather than three separate stories, or three different dimensions? Like, would you have rather have seen Crane being introduced earlier?
actually, I'm fine with this though, and it makes sense. Because Krang, because I mean, even though I know like Shredder is the most popular TMNT villain and stuff, the Turtles have faced a lot more dangerous villains than just the Shredder and stuff. Because runs Ninja Foot Clan and all that.
Hmm.
Sometimes they dwindle with sci-fi and mystics or magic or whatever. But sometimes though, Krang can kind of be like a whole nother beast in itself when it comes down to it. Especially with his technology. That's why Shredder is always like, trying to work with Krang or trying to get, he's like, all right, well, you got the technology and the resources and all that stuff to like take over the planet. And sometimes Krang actually has the technology where he can destroy the universe if he wanted to.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. That's one thing that confused me. It's like Crane just always found a way to mess it up.
yeah,
Like every single time, it's like he never get a chance to really press the button.
oh yeah,
Uh, yeah, that's hilarious.
yeah. So I mean, I wasn't expecting like, oh, anti-monitor. I was like, oh, well, I would have expected like another like I don't know Batman villain, but anti-monitor that's like a whole DC multiversal kind of villain
Mhm.
or whatever.
So
But
did would you think of the, I guess you would call it the Joker slash kind of the martial arts version of Joker, like a Joker. It's like a Joker Shredder mashup with each other.
I think I
And
remember seeing that.
yeah,
Pretty interesting. I mean,
in the
we already
black,
know.
the Smile Clan
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
the Foot Clan.
It's been a while, so I can't remember. But I was gonna say, I mean, I guess it makes sense because Shredder and since he's the arch nemesis of the Turtles and all that stuff, or the most popular one, so he kind of contrasts with like villains like Joker and Ra's al Ghul, who are
Mhm.
like the evil counterparts to Batman and stuff, or his main rivals. So yeah, I can see it. I think Joker kind of did something too in the well, not to completely spoil, but I mean, yeah, but in the animated series crossover, Joker actually, I think, took over the Foot Clan and stuff because
Mm.
Shudder underestimated him. He hit him with that laughing gas
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and Shudder wasn't expecting it. Then Joker kind of just took over the Foot Clan and was running things for a little bit until they stopped him.
If I'm not mistaken, this might be toxin gas Joker as well.
Oh, so like we're talking like he wasn't like hit with the not the toxic gas, but you know he didn't fall into
Yeah,
like
that
the
chemical.
thing.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay. Because yeah, like before that, like I think back in like the old Silver Age comics, he used to be like the Red Hood or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where he had the little red helmet and all that stuff, and the little tuxedo and the red cape.
Yep. And then, if I remember correctly, that Killer Croc is Rocksteady.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
In this one, as far as mutations go. So
Yeah, because Killer Croc, you already know, is definitely one of Batman's more powerhouse type villains.
yeah. Oh, and another thing I wanted to elaborate on. Did you miss April? Because she barely made an appearance in any of these, part 1, part 2, or part 3. I think she only made an appearance in part 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think she was in part 2, but like because I think I remember seeing her on a cover, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna like complain or anything. I'm like, oh, well, I guess it is what it is.
Yeah.
But if they had like a female counterpart or something like, they had Batgirl, then yeah, I guess it would make sense to bring in April or something, or maybe Angel.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because they kept it turtle. They definitely did not have April O'Neil acting crazy. They just I thought it was pretty cool.
Right.
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, part 3, I guess like I would not recommend like looking for things to be literal and well calculated. It's complete science fiction, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff just all bottled up in one. It just gets chaotic. I mean, it's for fun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Much like the 3rd sequel to the Ninja Turtle live action movies.
Yeah, I don't even know. I wouldn't say it was chaotic, but it was just like, okay, this is like a little weird and a little, I mean, I enjoyed it when I actually watched it, like, because I watched it when I was like a teenager, when I was like 16 or something. So that was long after it came out. But I was like, but looking back, I'm like, you know what? Come to think of it, I guess it wasn't the greatest Ninja Turtle movie, but you know what I mean? Just time travel, and they just spent in that period or whatever in Japan. But nothing came out of it besides, they stopped some weapons guy or whatever, some arms dealer, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, long story short, I mean, they gave you a glimpse of like because technically Yoshi was Splinter.
Sort of. You're talking about from the movie?
Yeah.
Not in that
Was that his ancestor?
Sort of. Like Yoshi, Splinter, he's the rat in this version, and Yoshi got killed or whatever. But there was a kid named Yoshi that Raph.
Oh no, his master was that connected to his master?
Leo. Yeah, he was the master in that version.
Yeah, Mato Yoshi.
Yeah. So I mean, but you could be onto something though. That could be like his ancestor or something that just happened to share the same name as Yoshi, or something like that. Because coincidence.
Yeah, he's Mato. Yeah, Mato. That's freaking hilarious. But so what do you? So give me your ratings for 2 and 3, if you.
2 and 3. Well, if I'm going off a whim here, I'll say the first one is definitely like a 9, where it's like, okay, great art, pretty good storytelling and stuff, not bad, I would probably say like 2 and 3. 2, I'll give that one a 7, really, but it still has some pretty good art. Like the art is really good in these books.
Yeah, I enjoyed the art as well.
Exactly, like it matched the covers and everything, so that's nice or something to look forward to. But so I'll say that's a 7, and I'll say third one, it was average, so I'll give it an 8.
So would you? Well, I guess they already made that movie, but would you like to see a part 4 Or would you like for them to redo this in a cartoon, more adult? Like, would you like to see this adaptation moved over into film?
Yeah, if they do another animated one, I'll be down.
I don't
Because,
see them doing. I don't see them doing this live action.
Yeah, no, definitely not no live action. But animated though, yeah, I'm definitely down. I'm like, because I think a lot of people were definitely making a big deal at the time for that Ninja Turtle movie, because that was like the first time where it was a little bit more, oh, this is like PG-13 for like an animated version of the Turtles where they're actually cursing and stuff or whatever, and like, oh, their designs kind of match a little bit to like the IDW a little bit, you know. So that's pretty nice. So I would definitely love to see more animated stuff from like the Ninja Turtles as far as like, oh, movie wise, like, you know, what DC always be doing, because they got a lot of animated movies. So I'm like, all right, well, they can probably bring that with the Turtles and stuff. I mean, they even had the Turtles as like guest characters in Injustice. So yeah. But will it happen anytime soon? I mean, I doubt it, since it's like, oh, that was like 5 years ago.
If they're working on something in the next 2 or even 3 years, they would at least let us know about it.
Yeah, they definitely would have. But, well, I mean, plus, I guess, you know, they got a little thing with Paramount too, so there is that.
So, give me your top 5 TMNT crossover comics series.
Well, first thing that comes to mind, I gotta say, is the Power Rangers. Definitely both. Well, I'm counting the first and second one as like, oh, you know.
I mean, just as a whole, like the Power Rangers one.
Yeah, the Power Rangers one. 5. I'm gonna be a little cheap here. I could say the Usagi thing.
That's a crossover.
Yeah, no, it counts. So I'd definitely say that. Probably wouldn't. Yeah, why not? Number 2. Let's see. They have some interesting crossovers. I know. I'm just gonna rattle off. I know they got Street Fighter and stuff. What else do they got? They have that Stranger Things, but I never read the Stranger Things one. They got currently that He-Man thing out right now. What else? Oh yeah, that's right. Technically, you can kind of count Image Comics.
Yeah,
because they crossed over with Savage Dragon.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think I can't even speak. I don't have anything in particular, but I guess yeah, some of that stuff comes to mind.
I don't think you're So, I mean, it'd be really nice. We might have to come back to that when the Naruto comes out.
Oh yeah. Not to mention, yeah, they had their own little Ghostbusters crossover too.
Yep.
That was a little bit underrated. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna enjoy that Naruto.
And then Torvik had told me that. Oh yeah, don't forget they had that one series to where it was the Turtles, Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles. Did I say X-Files already? X-Files, Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles, and I believe Star Trek.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that thing where they were fighting some kind of alien monster or whatever. It was weird because I don't think there was like a resolution or anything where like it just they were fighting in different comics or whatever. It was weird. But I know what you're talking about. And I think the Transformers even was in on that too.
So if I'm not mistaken, what they did was they took out the Turtles and then had Transformers with the rest of those guys, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. Like there was like some weird like I remember reading the IDW comics and I think there was like some weird tentacle monster or something like that was like this character, and it appeared in like one issue of the TMNT, but it was kind of unresolved in there. So I was like, wait, what is going on? And then it happened in all these other comics and stuff. So I have yet to really finish that. But yeah, because I think I remember one of those was like Transformers. One of them could have been like Star Trek or something, because, you know, they're all owned by or licensed by IDW right now, as far as their like comic publishing goes. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that definitely counts. We might. I'm trying to think. I might revisit. I want to get. I gotta find that comic. That's like I can't find that. I have not been able to find that comic yet.
Well, which comic?
The X-Files, Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. Honestly, I mean, I read it online, like when I first saw it. But I mean, yeah, that might. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
And And then since Image is kind of over there with Amazon Prime, I wonder if they'll do a collab with Nickelodeon if they did anything with Savage Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if they're doing anything with Savage Dragon, but I mean, but it's not impossible though, because I mean, they got Invincible over there for, you know, because that's a part of Image too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, are you so I take it are you going to purchase the Naruto TMNT crossover?
Yeah, I guess I would definitely get it. Like if I see it in the store, you know, I'm definitely down. Because you know I'm a huge fan of both, anyways. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I was about to say, man, I think that will conclude everything, unless you got something you want to share with the people.
No, that's all I've got. Well, that's all I have to say, as far as I can, like, you know, as far as I know. But yeah.
Okay. All right, man. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching another episode of TMNT Discussions. This time we did the Batman. Please share your thoughts. If you had which was your favorite version between 1, 2, and 3 of the Batman TMNT crossover. And if you want links to the comics itself, send me a comment on this video and I'll put the links inside. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
See you later.